Hi guys, so this past winter some of our kids were playing with the ice that was forming in the pool, and in the midst of playing with ice our pool got damaged right over there. Put a big hole in the side of the liner. So today we're going to start the process of draining the pool in preparation to put a new liner in. We put this one in about 12 years ago and it's did great until this last incident. So today we're just gonna start by draining the pool with a simple transfer pump. Other than those big pieces of algae, and within the algae is some corn husks because we're in the country. Other than that, the water is still very clear. We use a very minimal amount of chemicals, but the stuff we use is effective. So once we get the pool liner changed, get it filled with water, we'll show you what chemicals we actually use to keep our pool clean all year. So today we're just going to start by putting transfer pump in here and a hose and pumping it all out. We're gonna try to take this shop vac and sweep the sides. There's a bunch of like pine needles and seeds and stuff that's probably blown in underneath the side of the pool, and rather than knock it onto the sand and then we have to worry about it poking through the bottom or something like that, we're gonna try to just take this end here on the sweeper and sweep it off so it just goes right into the sweeper and not onto the ground. That didn't work very good. It's just mainly knocking the stuff onto the ground. So while the sand is still wet, we're gonna just brush it off with a broom and then try to suck it up without sucking up all the sand. I tried several different methods of smoothing the floor of this pool. I tried a hard rake, a leaf rake, a lawn roller. The main thing is you just got to loosen the sand up and then just do the best you can at smoothing it all out. It doesn't have to be perfect, but the less footprints and whatnot you have in the bottom will just make that much smoother of a pool bottom once you get the liner in. After I did my best at smoothing it all out, I actually just took a hose and a nozzle and just sprinkled the sand, and it just did a nice job of smoothing out the last
little bits of footprints and whatnot. Another thing you want to do is make sure you have enough sand along the edge of the pool wall so that you can create a wedge shape all along the sides to make sure that liner can have a smooth transition from the sidewall to the floor. If I had to do it again, I would probably have put more material here, but my sand wasn't really that thick, and so I didn't have a lot of extra to play with. Which is probably why a little bit later in the video, you'll see that my liner pulled my sides in a little bit. It's best to have lots of hands for this part. The liner has to be stretched a little, and you're going to need people to hold the sides up and hold the liner in place while you try to get it all situated. There's a seam around the bottom of the liner that you want to make sure is as level as possible. We also used a vacuum cleaner to create a vacuum on the side of the pool liner to kind of draw it in place. Then I carefully use like a shuffle pick to work the wrinkles out of the bottom of the liner.
When do you think the pool will be full?
All right, so we got the liner in, and we're gonna at least get 3 inches of water in it before we cut any holes or anything like that. I'm probably gonna just let it pretty much fill up until it gets up to like the skimmer, where the skimmer hole is and stuff, and then we'll cut that in. So it's just gonna be a long night of water running into this pool, filling it up. And a lot of those wrinkles will come out once the water gets in. There's actually a little bit of air gap behind this area that will, once the water pushes it out, it'll take a lot of those wrinkles out, and it should look real good. Maybe just put these on here just to kind of hold the side up. Not really doing a whole lot. Just a little friction holding that on there so the sides stay up until it gets some water in it.
So due to the weight of the water pulling the liner down overnight, which is normal, it does stretch the liner out, but for whatever reason, it kind of pulled in some of our sides. So When I woke up in the morning, it was all hands on deck to get these sides put back where they belong, taking those plastic keepers off and then adjusting the liner a little bit, and then starting to eventually put the rim together to keep everything in place.
All right, this pool's probably got about a foot of water in it maybe, and it's getting pretty greenish already. And that's how quick it can go south. So I'm gonna add some copper sulfate. That's what I treat the pool with on a normal basis. I add about this much every month, and that should help maybe start knocking some of this down until I get the pump going. I just mix this up and try to dissolve all the crystals. I let them dissolve a little bit, dump off the water, and then put new water in until all the crystals are dissolved. These are the 3 chemicals I use to maintain my pool. Chlorine tablets, which I put about 1 every few days in the skimmer, and it dissolves. And it's really important that you have this combination of ingredients. It doesn't matter so much on the brand. Our pool tends to get high pH, so I have to add this to keep it down every once in a while. I test it every so often to make sure my pH and my chlorine level is where I need it. So I have to add this, and then this is the copper sulfate that I add once a month. And it's technically for ponds, but it works really well in the pools. You don't have to have that super high chlorine content that, you know, burns your eyes and it's probably hard on your skin. Since I don't have the skimmer going yet, I'm just gonna go ahead and put a chlorine tablet in here and let it float so the chlorine starts working on that algae. All right, I'm gonna start putting the top rails on and getting this pool button back up. When a pool gets high enough, then I'm gonna get the skimmer and the hose hooked up here. Well, that is how you put the liner back in. This is a 24-foot diameter by, I think, 4-foot deep pool. Beyond putting in the skimmer and return line connection, and that's pretty much all we got left to do on this. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope you got something out of it, and good luck with all your projects.
Yep. Thanks. I'm an Iowa now. I'll say. Whoa.
I mean, check your speed things. Cause it's too much work.